Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Come back again with me, Liaudin Al Khayat. I'm from the first group in listening, and in the first group that is Ananta Kalifunaifi and Roy Khatul Mustia. So in this time, I will tell you about the virus forest in Indonesia. After that, let's discuss together. So attend this video. Okay, guys. In early March 2014, forest and peat fires in Indonesia's Riau province on the island of Sumatra spiked to level not seen since the previous Southeast Asian health crisis of June 2013. Nearly 50,000 Indonesians are suffering respiratory ailments due to the haze, according to Indonesia's Disaster Management Agency. Dramatic satellite image of the heavy smoke plumes show the large amount of pollutant being discharged to the atmosphere. The fires are extensive in areas with deep peat soils, suggesting huge volumes of carbon are being released, contributing to climate change. Global Forest Watch, a new online system that tracks tree cover change and fires in near real time, reported last week, and in an ongoing series that clearing land for agriculture in the major direct cause of the fires. As before, roughly half of the fires are burning on land managed by pulpwood, palm oil, and logging companies. Global Forest Watch shows that some of the large fires are on fully developed plantation, despite the fact that many of these companies are committed to eliminating fire in their management practice. The persistence of the fires and the intensity with which they have returned raise important questions. Below, we use new data from Global Forest Watch to explore this question further. From February 20 to March 11, Global Forest Watch detected 3.101 high confidence fire alerts on the island of Sumatra using NASA's active fire data. That exceed the 2.643 high confidence fire alerts detected from June 13th until June 30th, at the peak of the previous fires and haze crisis. The fact that the fires are now even more prevalent than in June 2013 is of great concern, especially given the steps that Indonesian and other governments have taken to try and contain the problem since then. Plus, these fires are burning at the usual time. Almost no fires were seen in Indonesia during the same period in 2013. This latest crisis is clearly linked to the extreme drought now affecting the region, which makes burning easier and increases that likelihood that fires will burn out of control. Interestingly, media coverage of the recent fires has been less than June 2013 due to the fact that wind patterns have directed the smoke and haze away from urban centers like Singapore and toward more rural areas in Sumatra. As in June 2013, the majority of fire alerts are concentrated in the Indonesian province of Riau on the island of Sumatra. A remarkable 87% of the fire alerts across Sumatra for March 4 until 11 are in Riau province. Furthermore, roughly half of the fire alerts in Sumatra fall within land managed by palm oil, pulpwood, and logging concession. According to data from the Indonesian Ministry of Forestry, additionally, some of the large fires appear to be burning across the concession of several major companies. A list of companies operating on the affected areas is available at the end of this post. Closer investigation by Indonesian authorities on the ground is needed before drawing definitive conclusion about whether any companies have broken law regulating the use of burning. This week's crisis is just the latest in a long line of fires episodes impacting Indonesia and surrounding countries. But while we can determine the extent of the fires and where they are happening, there is still a lot we don't know. For one, Indonesia's government fails to release the most timely, updated information on where oil palm, pulpwood, and logging companies are operating. While Global Forest Watch contains the latest available concession data, there are information gaps and issues with the accuracy of this map. Sharing of the latest concession boundaries and land ownership could foster better coordination between government agencies trying to tackle the fires, improve enforcement across the region, and ultimately greater accountability for companies and relevant government agencies. Second, further investigation on the ground is an urgent priority, including in-depth research and surveying to better understand the proportion of burning done by large companies versus medium-sized operations or smallholders. Certainly, poor farmers lack alternative to the use of fire when clearing their land. They may also use fire to deliberately remake or claim land controlled by large companies. Such land conflict is common across Indonesia. Governments as well as independent research organizations need quickly to invest more to understand the causes of the fires and better design programs for fire prevention. That side, progress is being made. The government of Indonesia and Singapore, as well as the wider ASEAN grouping, are taking efforts to reduce the risk of fires. Fire detection of combat efforts have been stepped up, and Indonesian law enforcement has made a significant number of arrests. Singapore is even proposing a path-breaking new law that would allow it to levy fines on companies, foreign or domestic, that cause transboundary has that impacts the country. Governments of the ASEAN community agreed in October to collaborate and share data on fires and land use. Though unfortunately this information will not be made public, and further, many companies have have publicly announced no burn policies and are investing in their own fire monitoring and control systems. But as the unprecedented number of fire alerts in Indonesia show us, these efforts are falling far short of what's needed to curb the crisis. The fate of Indonesian forests, regional air quality and public health, and the people and wildlife who rely on those forests depend on better law enforcement, more transparent information, improved coordination between government agencies, and enhanced corporate responsibility. Most Americans know how to stop, drop, and roll. Some even know how to employ a fire suppression blanket, how to properly operate a fire extinguisher. But for the vast majority of people, fire is something you brag about being able to make out of two sticks, or something you cook dinner on top of, or just something you run away from. Certainly not something you want to have to fight to put out. This is all probably for the best. Battling a wildfire is no straightforward task. The men and women who do run toward an unexpected blaze have been well trained in strategies that can suppress the flames of a wildfire. Below are 10 of the techniques firefighters use to put fire out quickly, completely, and safely. And finally, to fight wildfires, you can do control line, burning out, backburn, flanking, hotspotting, knockdown, cold training, aerial attack, fire lane explosive, and mop-up. So that is the presentation for me about fire forest, and then I apologize if there is many mistake from me. Allahul muwafiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.